Dose Maxima.
Welcome back to the Chamber of Theories, where we really get down to the nitty-gritty of the wizarding world.
Yeah, we love to explore those little nagging questions. You know, the ones that make you go, I wonder about that.
Exactly. I'm Nolan, your humble Hufflepuff.
And I'm Celia, wise bride of Ravenclaw.
And today, Celia, we're tackling a question that's been bugging me for ages.
Okay, shoot.
Why didn't more wizards become vampires? Especially, those with a bit of a thing for immortality.
You mean like Voldemort?
Yeah, Voldemort's our prime example here.
Yeah.
I mean, the lengths he went to avoid death.
Horcruxes. Talk about extreme measure.
Right. So that's what we're going to delve into today. Why didn't Voldemort just become a vampire?
Well, let's start with what we actually know.
Okay, so vampires definitely exist in the wizarding world.
Right. We know that for sure. They're mentioned in Defense Against the Dark Arts lessons early on.
Yeah, like first or second year, right?
Yeah, alongside creatures like Inferi. So that tells us they're definitely seen as dangerous.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But there's also this whole social element to vampires.
Yeah, like that Society for the Tolerance of Vampires thing.
Exactly. What's that all about? Are they ostracized? Are they like a hidden community?
Good question. And then think about Voldemort. Someone obsessed with power and pure blood supremacy.
Right. Would he even associate with a group that's looked down upon? Would he see it as beneath him?
Especially considering he was a half-blood himself.
Yeah, total hypocrisy. But before we go down that rabbit hole, we need to address the big question.
You mean whether Harry Potter vampires are truly immortal?
Exactly. Do they actually live forever or just a really long time?
That's the million-galleon question. We know they can live for centuries.
Like over 200 years at least.
Right, but is that true immortality or just a crazy long lifespan? Even Nicholas Flamel with the Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah, he could still feel pain. Remember when Jacob grabbed his hand?
Oh, yeah. He definitely wasn't invincible.
So maybe vampires can be injured, maybe even killed. Would that be enough for Voldemort?
I mean, he wanted more than just a long life. He wanted power dominance.
Total control.
Exactly. So would he settle for a form of immortality that still left him vulnerable?
That's a good point. And what about those classic vampire weaknesses?
You mean sunlight, garlic stakes through the heart?
Yeah. Imagine Voldemort hiding from the sun.
Not exactly the image of a fearsome dark lord.
Definitely not.
Okay.
So we have the immortality question mark. And the whole weakness issue. What else could have turned Voldemort off from the vampire path?
Well, there's that interesting comment from Percy Weasley.
Percy? You mean the rule-loving ministry man?
That's the one. He was quoting ministry guidelines about the rights of vampires and other...
Wait, I remember this. He called them non-wizard part humans, right?
Exactly, non-wizard. What does that even mean?
It implies they're not fully wizards anymore.
Right. So what if becoming a vampire means losing some of your magical abilities?
Or all of them.
That would explain a lot. Voldemort was obsessed with power. Would he ever give that up?
Especially after all that trouble with the Horcruxes. He was trying to make himself stronger.
Right. It makes you wonder about the nature of magic itself. Can it be taken away? Can it be willingly surrendered?
Deep stuff. And then there's the whole bloodlust thing.
Ah, yes, the primal urge.
Would Voldemort, who was all about calculated cruelty, be okay with that?
I doubt it. He'd want to be in control, not a slave to his instincts.
Yeah. It wouldn't fit his style at all. He craved power for the order and dominance it gave him.
Exactly. To be ruled by something as primal as a need for blood.
That wouldn't fly with him. It makes you wonder if he ever even considered it.
And if he did, what was his reasoning?
So many questions. So little time. Okay, let's recap.
We've got the immortality debate, the whole weakness thing, the potential loss of magic.
And the bloodlust issue.
Plus the whole social stigma angle, whether Voldemort would even consider associating with vampires.
And that's just scratching the surface.
Right. We still know so little about vampires in the wizarding world.
Which of course makes it all the more intriguing.
Exactly. That's what keeps us coming back for more. Let's see. One thing we haven't really considered is the whole process of becoming a vampire.
Like, what if it's not as simple as getting bitten?
Exactly. What if there's more to it?
Like a ritual or something?
Maybe a magical contract.
Ooh, a vampire initiation ceremony. I can see it now.
Okay, let's not get carried away, but it's an interesting thought.
It would explain why it's not more common. It wouldn't be something you just accidentally stumble into.
Right. It would be a conscious decision, a commitment, and not just giving up sunlight and garlic bread.
What do you mean?
What if there's a deeper cost, like a magical toll?
Ooh, I like where this is going.
What if becoming a vampire means losing certain emotions? or weakening your connection to the human world?
Well, that's dark.
Or what if it affects your memories?
Losing parts of yourself, fading into something else.
It's a chilling thought, and it brings us back to Voldemort.
Would he ever submit to that kind of transformation?
With his obsession with control and purity, I doubt it.
He'd see it as a weakness.
Right, a loss of his unique identity.
And what if that loss of identity extends beyond the individual?
What do you mean?
What if becoming a vampire means leaving the wizarding world behind?
Joining a separate society.
A hidden vampire coven with their own laws and traditions.
That's a compelling thought.
It would explain why vampires are so rarely seen in the book.
Maybe they're not just creatures of the night, but a whole secret society.
Living in the shadows.
But why? What are they hiding from? Or what are they protecting?
Now, those are some million-galleon questions.
And you know, another thing we tend to do,
What's that?
we talk about vampires as if they're all the same.
You think there are different kinds?
Maybe. Some more powerful than others.
Some who retain their magic.
And others who become more monstrous.
Ooh, like a vampire hierarchy.
With different levels of power and influence.
That makes sense. And it reminds me of Sanguini.
Sanguini, the vampire who went to Slughorn's party.
Yeah, he seemed pretty chill, hanging out with wizards.
Maybe he was an ambassador of sorts?
Representing a faction of vampires who want peace with the wizarding world.
Or maybe he just really liked those little wizarding snacks.
Who knows? Maybe cauldron cakes are a vampire delicacy.
Okay, now I'm getting hungry. Let's get back on track.
Right back to Voldemort and why he didn't become a vampire.
We've talked about the downsides, the loss of magic, the social stigma, the weaknesses.
What if there's something else?
What if becoming a vampire isn't permanent?
Wait, what if you can reverse it?
Or even better, what if you can control it?
Like choose when to be a vampire, when to be human.
A hybrid vampire, switching back and forth.
That's crazy. Talk about having your cake and eating it too.
Imagine the possibilities, strength, the speed.
But still able to enjoy sunshine and pumpkin pasties.
And think of the strategic advantage.
You could infiltrate both worlds, the wizarding world and the vampire world.
The ultimate double agent.
But it would be risky.
Oh, definitely. The temptation to succumb to the darker urges.
The constant struggle for control.
It would be a dangerous path to walk.
But hey, high risk, high reward, right?
It also raises questions about identity.
What does it mean to be both human and vampire?
Where does one end and the other begin?
Now that's a philosophical question for the ages.
It makes you wonder, are there wizards out there right now who have this dual nature?
Hiding in plain sight.
With their secret carefully guarded.
That's a creepy thought.
It's like a whole hidden world existing alongside the one we know.
Full of shadows and secrets.
Maybe someday we'll get a glimpse into that world.
Maybe we'll meet a wizard who's mastered the art of being a hybrid vampire.
Or maybe Voldemort knew more than he let on.
What if he experimented with vampirism, tried to unlock its secrets,
and decided it was too dangerous, even for him?
Now that would be a twist.
It suggests there's still so much we don't know about Voldemort's quest for power.
And that's what makes it all the more fascinating. You know, this whole conversation has got me thinking about another aspect of vampirism.
I'm listening.
The idea of legacy. We know vampires can live for centuries.
Longer than most wizards.
So what happens to their knowledge, their experiences, their memories?
Do they pass it down? Or do they keep it all to themselves?
Imagine the perspective of a centuries-old vampire.
They could have witnessed magical events that wizards only whisper about.
Like first-hand accounts of the founders of Hogwarts?
Or the Goblin rebellions.
That's a history lesson I would love to hear.
It's like they're a living archive of magical history.
A hidden well of knowledge.
Carefully guarded.
But why keep it secret?
Maybe it's for their own protection.
Knowledge is power. After all.
In the wrong hands, it could be dangerous.
So they keep their secrets close.
Protecting themselves from potential threats.
Whether it's from the wizarding world or even other magical beings.
It makes you wonder how that knowledge is passed down.
Is there like a secret vampire school?
With a gothic vibe, of course.
Gargoyle statues, fluting candles.
Potions class would definitely be interesting.
Okay, let's not go there. But imagine the kind of magic they might teach.
Spells for manipulating shadows.
Communicating with bats.
Or even more potent magic.
Something that taps into the very essence of life and death.
Magic that only those who've crossed the threshold between worlds can understand.
Whoa. Maybe that's why Voldemort never became a vampire.
What if he knew about this deeper level of magic?
And it frightened him.
What if he sensed it was a power beyond his control?
He looked into the abyss and it looked back.
And he decided to stick with his Horcruxes.
A safer, more controllable form of power.
But ultimately less potent. Less profound.
Kind of ironic, isn't it?
How so?
Voldemort obsessed with conquering death.
Right.
But he's defeated by his own fear of the unknown.
Pride before the fall. All right, so picking up where we left off, we were talking about vampire legacy and all that knowledge they must accumulate over the centuries.
Yeah. It's mind-boggling to think about what they must have seen and experienced.
Imagine if we could tap into those memories, those first-hand accounts of magical history.
Oh, man. A vampire history book would be epic.
Right, like witnessing the founding of Hogwarts.
Or the Goblin Rebellions firsthand.
Talk about a different perspective.
It's like they're living time capsules.
But if they have all this knowledge, why keep it secret?
Good question. Maybe it's too dangerous to share.
Knowledge is power.
Exactly. In the wrong hands, it could be disastrous.
So they protect their secrets.
Maybe they even have a system for passing it down.
Like a secret vampire society.
Ooh. A hidden academy for young vamps.
With their own unique brand of magic.
And a dress code that's strictly black.
Probably no house points either.
Okay, maybe we're getting carried away again.
Back to reality. But it's fun to speculate.
It is. And it makes you wonder about Voldemort.
What about him?
What if he knew about this hidden vampire knowledge?
And it scared him.
What if he sensed a power beyond his comprehension?
A power he couldn't control.
Maybe that's why he's stuck with his Horcruxes.
They were more predictable, more manageable.
But ultimately less powerful.
It's a classic case of hubris.
Voldemort thought he could conquer anything.
But he underestimated the mysteries of the universe.
And in the end, it was his undoing.
It's a reminder that there are some things we're not meant to know.
Or maybe we're just not ready to know yet.
Who knows what secrets are still out there waiting to be uncovered?
That's the beauty of it. The mystery. The endless possibilities.
And that's what we love about exploring the wizarding world.
Always something new to discover. Always another theory to ponder.
Well said. Until next time, fellow theorists, keep your wands at the ready.
And remember,
The chamber awaits.
Lumos Maxima.